Okay, and then now the last group is on recruiting and supporting students from tribal colleges and universities. And then maybe we might have a few minutes for discussion.
Hi, I'm Dave Kuro from the University of Michigan Biological Station, and I was very interested in attending this breakout group because we have not yet done a good job of recruiting Native American students, and particularly from tribal colleges. So I got a lot of useful information and would like to share it. First of all, there are nationally 37 tribal colleges and universities, so really quite a lot of opportunity for recruitment of Native American students from tribal colleges. The good news for geoscience is that the fastest growing area of study, majors, concentrations among tribal colleges and universities is environmental science. So that there certainly should be a number of students who would be interested in our programs. Okay, so first question is how do you get the students to apply? And I think the most useful piece of information is that we should all be trying to connect with organizations that already are starting the process of getting Native American students engaged in research. So the names that are familiar to us: SOARS, the Geoscience Alliance, which Diana talked about this morning, SACNES, of course, which we also heard about this morning, and there is a conference, ACES conference, which Diana mentioned this morning. One possibility, it's going to be in is it always in Minneapolis? No, okay. Okay, yeah. And one possibility is that Geo might decide to try to arrange a session at ACES from now on. And yeah, if we got enough of us there, we could probably attract quite a few students to our session. Okay. A lot of campuses do have, even not tribal colleges and universities, a lot of other campuses have Native American centers, and would probably be worth contacting people who administrate those to help them act as a conduit. In terms of our application materials, we'll probably get more applicants if we use phrases and terms that would be of interest to Native American students. So things like environment and sustainability. If you can feature those in your advertising materials, that might help. Very important to meet with faculty or arrange personal relationships with faculty who can act as conduits, and conduits for students, of course. And that can occur at conferences. If there are tribal colleges and universities within driving distance, it's almost certainly worth the drive to make a personal contact. Other suggestions included asking people, once you have Native American students in your program, get back in contact with the people who wrote letters of recommendation for them and ask them to bring the program to the attention of other students who might be interested. It's possible maybe to partner or get some partnership buy-in from graduate schools or graduate departments who are also looking for Native Americans to enter their programs. Well, an RU in their area would be a natural conduit. If young faculty are applying for career grants, career grants tend to have a larger emphasis on broader impacts, and so they may be particularly interested in serving as mentors for RU students from Native American backgrounds. Yeah, I have these numbered in some sort of order, and apparently I am missing number 8. Okay, so I'll skip to number 9. Big challenge is to make our RU programs more attractive to students at tribal colleges and universities than research opportunities that do exist on the reservation. So I think part of that is in making sure that we use terminology that will indicate that our programs are of interest. Another big part is to have projects that when they return to the reservation or are back in contact with their family, where their family and friends and peers recognize the importance of it to Native American culture. So for instance, if I was taking a student to look, who is going to grow plants under future atmospheric composition, elevated CO2, look at chemical defenses, if I choose a plant that has an important role in Native American culture, that's going to be a way better project than if I choose a plant I'm familiar with and have worked on in the past. Okay? So there are ways we can tweak our research projects to make them more attractive. There are barriers that are unusual and possibly unique to Native American students. One is a very high rate of parenthood. So 40% of Native American REU students, is this right, Diana? In your REU, yeah, already had children. And that creates logistic issues. How do you, it's not as many logistic issues if they're on the reservation, but if they're off, then you have to house maybe an entire family. And that takes some planning and maybe some negotiating with the institution you're part of. There are other cultural issues like an enhanced respect or emphasis on respect for elders, and that can make Native American students less likely to talk, for instance, shyer. And so they may need a bit more encouragement, a bit more drawing out to get them to participate fully in things like discussions and so on. Actually had a very good example of that in our RU this summer. Recognize that life on the reservation can be tough, and if they are coming from a tribal college, then they may have issues at home that we know nothing about, or unless they tell us, that can be very serious. There can be serious challenges to their productivity as an RU student that are occurring 1,000 miles away. So try to elicit that information from them if they are in your program. And I suspect I'm over time, so one thing that's very important, I'll briefly mention, probably not everybody in your mentor pool is going to be an appropriate mentor for a Native American student. You have to choose your mentors maybe more carefully, match them up more carefully. It is quite possible that a Native American student, any student from underrepresented groups, and a lot of Caucasian students will need extra mentoring, and choose mentors who are willing to do that. It may also be a good idea as PI of the grant to assign yourself as co-mentor for Native American students. Not so much so that you can mentor, but so that you can keep your finger on the pulse much better and identify and respond to any kinds of issues that might arise and respond quickly. And if you do this, Diana is quite clear that the value of investing in making the experience a really good one for your first few 1, 2, 3 Native American students will be doubled, tripled, quadrupled, because, as Diana puts it, there's a snowball effect. Word of mouth is very, very important, so that especially the first students that you train, if they feel they've had a great experience, it's much more likely to open up a conduit for future applications. And you may we may all get in the position that Diana's in, where she has to turn away qualified Native American applicants. Okay, thank you.